Inside the Taoist temple, Hanju suddenly felt uneasy. He opened his eyes and looked up. His gaze traveled through the 33rd heaven and saw a huge battle. South Extreme Heavenly Venerate, Sect Master Tianju, Choshilai, Fuxishan, and Emperor Shao attacked the black hole together. Their mystical powers were endless and their Dharma treasures were powerful. What? Hanju frowned and looked at the black hole. What made him uneasy was not the battle, but the mysterious existence in the black hole. This feeling, Hanju thought of how he felt when he first faced the inauspicious evil. Could this be related to the dark forbidden zone? Hanju called the strange deity over and sent it the scene of the 33rd heaven, scaring it. It began to wave frantically. Through telepathy, Hanju knew what it meant. Danger! It was very dangerous. Extreme danger. The strange deity's first reaction was to escape. Hanju frowned and suppressed the uncontrollable strange deity in the 36th grade reincarnation world destruction Black Lotus. I want to know if I can defeat what the sages are facing? 10 billion years of lifespan will be deducted. Do you want to continue? Continue. Possible. Possible? Hanju's heart almost exploded. That meant that he could be defeated. Not to mention being defeated, Hanju wanted to insta-kill the enemy. No! Hanju continued to derive, I want to know its identity. This time, his lifespan was not deducted. Tao Heavenly Devil, cultivation unknown, transformed by negative karma, an extremely evil existence. Visit and Felben. CM for EW Uvels. Hanju immediately took out the Book of Misfortune and started cursing the Tao Heavenly Devil. 5 days later, his lifespan began to decrease. As he cursed, he watched the battle in the 33rd heaven. The Tao Heavenly Devil did not seem to be affected by the curse. Facing the attacks of the sages, its aura did not decrease. Hanju hurriedly stopped. Cursing the enemy consumed too much lifespan. It was better to derive it directly. Cursing Sage Jinan until he went mad was enough for Hanju to derive hundreds of questions about sages. I want to know if my curse can work on Tao Heavenly Devil? 10 billion years of lifespan will be deducted. Do you want to continue? Continue. No, he has the power of curses, to begin with. Hanju showed a frown. This was a little inexplicable. Hanju stood up and activated all his supreme treasures. Divine light shone brightly and illuminated his body. He followed and arrived above the sages of the 33rd heaven. His appearance pleasantly surprised the sages. Hanju, hurry up and kill this demon. Chaoshilai shouted. Hanju immediately used the simulation trial to copy the Tao Heavenly Devil's data and then disappeared. The sages were stunned for a moment before continuing to attack. In an instant, Hanju received several messages that the hatred points had increased. He didn't mind and started the simulation trial. An hour later, Hanju opened his eyes and frowned. What a Tao Heavenly Devil! How powerful! Hanju had to use all his fiend celestial Dharma idols to kill it. Before this, he had almost been killed by Tao Heavenly Devil many times. Powerful enemy. This was definitely the strongest enemy Hanju had ever encountered. Hanju continued the simulation trial and looked for a way to insta-kill the Tao Heavenly Devil. He kept trying. 2 years passed. Hanju still didn't find a way to insta-kill the Tao Heavenly Devil. Fortunately, he had already become a sage. Otherwise, his black hair would definitely have turned white. Choshilai wants to visit you in your dreams. Do you accept? Choshilai wants to visit you in your dreams. Do you accept? This lunatic was spamming again. Hanju thought of the Tao Heavenly Devil and agreed to the dream. In the dream, Choshilai was still majestic and domineering. He looked down at Hanju and said in a low voice, "The Heavenly Devil attacked. Why did you only take a look and leave?" Hanju was angry in his mind. He had fought for 2 years to deal with the Tao Heavenly Devil. Even if he didn't contribute, he had worked hard. He retorted, Could it be that the sages can't deal with the heavenly devil? That's right. We will all suffer a backlash. Sooner or later, the heavenly devil will enter the 33rd heaven. At that time, we will all die. Even the heavenly Tao and all living beings will be devoured. Your 100-peak immortal river can forget about escaping. Chou Lai's tone was filled with resentment. Hanju remained silent. Chou Lai sighed. The heavenly Tao is in danger. The next time the heavenly devil attack, I hope you can take action and fight with us. Otherwise, the heavenly Tao will be in danger. Hanju said, I'll consider it. Don't just consider it, you have to come. Why? What do I owe the heavenly Tao? Hanju was furious. This fellow was plotting against him with the heavenly Tao. Don't think that he didn't know. However, Chou Lai had helped him in the previous calamity, so he did not directly attack him. Facing such a tough nut, Chou Lai was also annoyed. He said, if the heavenly Tao is destroyed, where can you go? That's it. Hanju waved his right hand and forcefully broke through Chou Lai's dream. In the Tao field, Chou Lai opened his eyes with a solemn expression. This kid is already so strong? A storm brewed in his heart. Although Hanju was a sage, he had always felt that he wasn't at his level. After all, the two of them had never fought. But just now, the appearance of the Tao Heavenly Devil gave Hanju a sense of urgency. He began to cultivate in seclusion and comprehended the great Tao of extreme origin every day. The living beings of the immortal world did not sense that a calamity was coming. Some cultivated, some searched for treasures, some preached the Tao, and some fought. All living beings had all sorts of forms. The cycle of reincarnation changed and formed a set of rules. In a cave, Li Daokong was meditating and healing his injuries. A sword floated behind him, emitting the aura of a heavenly sovereign. He slowly opened his eyes and muttered, although the 10,000 life sword is strong, my dermic powers are inferior to Shirdu Dao's. I still have to increase my cultivation, but my cultivation speed is too slow. It seems that I can only seek the help of a supreme treasure. Li Daokong urgently wanted to defeat Shirdu Dao. If he couldn't defeat him, it would become his mental demon. At this moment, a voice came from the foot of the cave. May I ask if Senior is Li Daokong of the Hidden Sect? Li Daokong ignored him and closed his eyes again. The voice sounded. Your Hidden Sect disciple is in danger. If you don't save him, he will definitely die. Li Daokong opened his eyes and sucked the person into the cave. This person was dressed gorgeously and had a handsome face. He had an immortal aura. He knelt down on one knee and cupped his fists. I'm Han Ming. This child was captured by the Jie school. He waved his hand and a figure appeared beside him. It was Han Tuo. Li Daokong was stunned when he saw Han Tuo's face. Too similar. It was simply like Hanju. Li Daokong pinched his fingers to deduce and discovered that Han Tuo's karma was extremely vague. Could it be? 100 years later, Hanju opened his eyes. He was still very far from the mid-stage primordial chaos zenith heaven golden immortal realm. This made him very frustrated. It had been a long time since he had broken through. He wasn't used to it. The Tao Heavenly Devil could attack at any time. Hanju hoped that he could have the strength to insta-kill the Tao Heavenly Devil before that. He had to check his emails to calm down. Your good friend Chou Lai was attacked by a mysterious heavenly devil. His sage heart is damaged. Your good friend Huang Zuntian was attacked by your good friend Li Daokong and was severely injured. Your disciple Yang Tiandong was attacked by a heavenly devil, X19230. Your good friend Empress Hutu was cursed by a mysterious curse and developed mental demons. Your good friend Shirdu Dao was attacked by a mysterious mighty figure. Your good friend Pen Xin has entered the dark forbidden zone. Your good friend Emperor Shao was attacked by a mysterious heavenly devil. His sage heart is damaged. Hanju raised his eyebrows. This heavenly devil was very strong. He looked up and saw that the 33rd heaven was silent. The black hole that hid the Tao Heavenly Devil was still there. Purple lightning interweaved, and a silent pressure could be felt. Hanju could sense the aura of the Tao Heavenly Devil. If this fellow didn't escape, how did it hurt the sages? Divine sense attack? Hanju couldn't figure it out. No matter what, the Tao Heavenly Devil had yet to enter the Heavenly Tao, so he still had time. During this period of time, Hanju had to hurry up and become stronger. He had to strive to insta-kill the Tao Heavenly Devil as soon as possible. After reading the emails, Hanju closed his eyes and started cultivating. The 33rd heaven became extremely silent because of the appearance of the Tao Heavenly Devil. The sages no longer preached the Tao, and no cultivators came to visit. This solemn atmosphere quickly spread to the immortal world. The disciples of the sage sect began to spread rumors that the Heavenly Tao was about to face danger. 300 years later, the voice of the sages suddenly sounded in the immortal world. I, South Extreme Heavenly Venerate, lead the Chan school to enter the Tao sect. I will take Sage Choshilai as the Tao Lord. I, Sect Master Tianju, lead the Jie school to enter the Tao sect. I will take Sage Choshilai as the Tao Lord. I, Fuxishan, lead the human race to believe in the Tao sect. I will take Sage Choshilai as the Tao Lord. I, Emperor Shao, lead the devil race and the devil cultivators to enter the Tao sect. I will take Sage Choshilai as the Tao Lord. I, Choshilai, lead the Buddhist sect to join the Tao sect. From today onwards, all sages are part of the Tao sect. The providence of the Heavenly Tao will return to the Tao sect and all living beings will bear testament to it. In the Taoist temple, Hanju opened his eyes with a strange expression. The sages were joining forces? With Choshilai as the lead? Wait! Could it be that they wanted to pour all the Heavenly Tao providence into Choshilai's body and let him resist the Tao Heavenly Devil? The more Hanju thought about it, the more he felt that it was possible. He looked up and saw that the Tao field Choshilai was in was enveloped by a huge barrier. It was holy and magnificent. Hanju asked silently, after Choshilai fuses with the Heavenly Tao providence of the sages, can he kill me? 10 billion years of lifespan will be deducted. Do you want to continue? Continue. It's possible. Hanju's eyelids twitched. It seemed that he couldn't leave the Tao field anymore. Otherwise, he would easily fail. Hanju adjusted his emotions and continued cultivating. As for the Tao Heavenly Devil, he couldn't care less. He had to surpass Choshilai first. Above the endless sea, Li Daokong and Shi Dudao floated above the clouds. Shi Dudao frowned. If the sages join forces, could it be that there is a terrifying existence hidden in that black hole? Li Daokong said coldly, Shi Dudao, focus on fighting me. Hearing this, Shi Dudao looked impatient and said, you aren't my match at all. Why do you keep pestering me? Can't you afford to lose? Humph, you didn't really defeat me. What do I have to do to win? Kill you? I know someone. His strength convinced me. Although you're strong, you're not strong enough to make me despair. Hee hee. Killing intent flashed across Shi Dudao's eyes. The floating sea of clouds suddenly stopped. Even the waves stopped. In the distance, on the beach, Han Ming and Han Tuo watched from afar. The current Han Tuo was already mature. He was handsome, but his eyes revealed the vicissitudes of life. His white clothes fluttered in the wind, and he exuded an elegant air. Although Han Ming was handsome, he was much inferior to Han Tuo. Who is Senior Li's opponent? Han Tuo asked. Han Ming said calmly, he's an existence that's far beyond our reach. Don't ask. Senior Li has yet to agree to take us in as disciples. Han Tuo frowned. Senior Li is so powerful. The Jie school let me go with just one sentence from him. How did you convince him to save me? Also, after they captured me, I met a cultivator surnamed Huang. After that, they treated me well. Why? Visit en Felben. CM for EW Uvel's brother Han. Our surnames are both Han. Are you related to my father? Who is my father? Han Tuo wasn't stupid. After wandering for so many years, he discovered that what really made him rise was not his mother's body tempering technique, but his own potential. The reason why the immortal master did not detect his cultivation potential was that his potential was too strong. Ordinary cultivators couldn't see through him. He had once returned to the eastern city to find his parents, but he had only seen his mother's tombstone. His father had long vanished. He had asked cultivators to deduce the karma, and his father had long died. If his father had a powerful background, he wouldn't have died. In the worst case, he could have been harmed and lost his life. Every time he thought of this, Han Tuo would be furious. The thought that his father might have been killed by his enemies made the mysterious and violent power in his body restrain itself. Ever since he was young, he had always respected his father. If not for his father's guidance, he would have died 100 years ago. Han Ming looked into the distance and said, "We just happen to have the same surname. I don't know your father. Don't think too much. When I met you back then, didn't you attack me? I even wanted to kill you. As for Senior Li, I have some affinity with him." Han Tuo frowned. "What about the Jie school?" Han Ming rolled his eyes. "How would I know? They might want you to not suffer before your death. After all, it's a sage sect. It won't be good if news of them bullying you gets out. If they really have good intentions towards you, why would they trap you?" Han Tuo felt that it made sense. He couldn't help but laugh at himself. He was really daydreaming sometimes. Could it be that he had encountered too many geniuses that he always looked forward to having mighty figures in his ancestry? It was just wishful thinking. Boom! A terrifying wind suddenly swept along the sea. Han Tuo and Han Ming's expressions changed drastically as they took out their Dharma treasures to block it. But how could they withstand the pressure of a pseudo-sage? Before the two of them could react, they were blown away and vanished into the horizon with the sand. 33rd Heaven, Buddhist Tao Field. In the Golden Palace, the sages gathered. Sect Master Tianju asked, "Qiushilai, how do you feel?" The other sages also looked at him. Qiushilai did not maintain his true body that was 10,000 feet tall, but his mortal-like body. He slowly opened his eyes and said, "Not bad. I'm much stronger than before. I can even drive the Heavenly Tao's power." Fuxishan asked, "Can you defeat Tao Heavenly Devil?" Qiushilai had a complicated expression as he said, "Perhaps not. It's still a little lacking. The Tao Heavenly Devil's power of misfortune is too strong and can't be killed. His power is at a higher level. If I want to kill him, I have to fuse the providence of the Heavenly Tao and the Sage Heart." The sages' expressions changed. The reason why they formed the Tao sect was to deal with the Tao Heavenly Devil. However, according to Qiushilai, once they fused, he would be the strongest sage in the future. Even if they separated their providence, it would not affect his cultivation. Most importantly, this fellow had the Tao destruction mystical power. The hall was silent and the atmosphere became strange. Qiushilai took a deep breath and said, "Fellow Taoists, we have gone through 4 immeasurable calamities. However, we are the only ones left at the top of the Heavenly Tao. No matter how we fight, it is considered internal strife. Now that the Tao Heavenly Devil is coming, if he swallows the Heavenly Tao, we will all die. In this battle, all of you can only believe me. I won't let you down." There was only one way. They felt desolate. So what if they survived this calamity? In the future, wouldn't they have to bow down to Qiushilai? Emperor Shao said, "Let's transcend this tribulation first. Qiushilai will personally face the Tao Heavenly Devil. He's under greater pressure than us. We have to support him now." His words were approved by the other sages. This matter was settled. Year after year passed. Another 100 years passed. In the past 100 years, many things had happened. Mighty figures had established the mortal world, and some new races wanted to fight for providence. The golden crows on the sun appeared and began to create demons. The demons that had once filled the heavens appeared again. The concept of demons was very vague. Other than the heavenly Tao race, everyone could be considered a demon. With this slogan, the golden crow's power quickly expanded. The legend of the 100-peak immortal river faded again and was no longer mentioned by everyone. The 1,000 immortal emperors from the hidden sect also took root in that new world. This world had yet to be unified and was in a chaotic period. Hanju didn't pay attention to these 1,000 unnamed disciples. If they really encountered trouble, he could just use the invocation Tao to teleport all of them back. At this current stage, Hanju focused on comprehending the great Tao of extreme origin. His sage power kept increasing, and he was frantically chasing after the mid-stage primordial chaos zenith heaven golden immortal realm. Only by reaching the mid-stage primordial chaos zenith heaven golden immortal realm would Hanju's strength increase greatly and allow him to insta-kill Cho-Shilai and Tao heavenly devil. Cultivating in the sage realm required time. On this day, another battle erupted in the 33rd heaven. Hanju could sense it. He looked up, and Cho-Shilai appeared in front of the black hole. 3 supreme treasures of different forms floated around him, emitting 3-colored divine light. The other sages watched from afar. Cho-Shilai suddenly rushed into the black hole. In an instant, purple lightning flashed like dragons and snakes interweaving. Soon, it shrank and disappeared. The sages were stunned. South Extreme Heavenly Venerate frowned. What's going on? I can't sense their aura at all. Sect Master Tianju said expressionlessly, we can only wait and see. On the other side, Hanju couldn't help but check his emails. Your good friend Cho-Shilai has fused with the Heavenly Tao Providence and stepped into the Heavenly Tao realm. Your good friend Cho-Shilai was attacked by a mysterious heavenly devil. Next, Cho-Shilai was constantly attacked by heavenly devils. It seemed that there was more than one heavenly devil in the black hole. Hanju flashed the emails in front of him. As he cultivated, he paid attention to Cho-Shilai's situation. In the next 300 years, Cho-Shilai was attacked by a mysterious heavenly devil more than 1,000,000 times. The Tao heavenly devil was still very strong. Even if he fused with the providence of the heavenly Tao, Cho-Shilai still couldn't defeat him. From the looks of it, Cho-Shilai was not very strong. Although Hanju couldn't insta-kill the Tao heavenly devil, he could still kill him in 5 minutes. What he panicked about was that the enemy could not be insta-killed. It was not invincible against Hanju. On this day, your good friend Cho-Shilai was attacked by a mysterious heavenly devil and was severely injured. Cho-Shilai still lost. Hanju shook his head. It seemed that Cho-Shilai was about the same strength as Tao heavenly devil, but the latter had greater persistence. The heavenly Tao sage was still a heavenly Tao sage. Useless. Hanju secretly felt disdain. At the same time, the sky suddenly turned red. The entire immortal world was the same. An extremely oppressive atmosphere filled the world. Immediately after, black holes of different sizes appeared in the sky. It was as if the sky was filled with holes, looking sinister and terrifying. This scene shocked all the living beings in the world. The world was in an uproar. Malevolent heavenly devils flew out from the dense black holes. These heavenly devils had different forms. Their bodies were wrapped in a black aura and their bodies were different in size. The common point was that their appearance was terrifying and ugly with blood-red eyes. The biggest heavenly devil was 1,000,000 feet tall. The smallest heavenly devil was also taller than a mortal. Hanju instantly felt several heavenly devils that were comparable to a pseudo-sage. Cho-Shilai had really lost. Detected that the heavenly devils are coming and that the heavenly Tao calamity is coming. You have the following choices. 1. Exit seclusion immediately and kill all the heavenly devils. You can obtain a great Tao fragment, a supreme treasure, and a chance to activate a new function of the system. 2. Cultivate in a low-profile manner and do not fight with the heavenly devils. you can obtain a great Tao fragment and a mystical power inheritance. When Hanju saw these 3 lines of words, he didn't make a decision immediately. If it was in the past, he would definitely choose the second option. However, a new function of the system attracted him. It wasn't difficult to kill all the heavenly devils. It was simple to kill them. Hanju decided to choose after some time. There was no need to choose immediately unless he was in a hurry to receive the reward. He continued to cultivate. The chaos in the immortal world would be resolved by the immortal world. He had to hurry up and become stronger so that he could insta-kill the Tao heavenly devil. In this year, the immortal world was in chaos and fell into slaughter. The addition of the heavenly devils made all living beings unite against the outside world. However, this calamity couldn't end in a short period of time. The heavenly devil's vitality was extremely strong. Even if he was torn into pieces, he could still recover his body. He had to be reduced to ashes and his body and soul destroyed before he could truly die. In the same realm, the heavenly Tao life forms weren't the heavenly devil's life forms match at all. Fortunately, the heavenly Tao life forms had the advantage in numbers. This battle entered a stalemate decades later. Spring passed and autumn came. It had been 200 years since the heavenly devils attacked. Many heavenly devils also appeared around the 100-peak Immortal River, but they couldn't break through the Tao Field's array formation and quickly left. The disciples would also discuss this while cultivating. His chapter is upped at D by NOVE, E, L, by and Co M. However, without Hanju's instructions, they wouldn't act rashly. Hanju was still cultivating and didn't panic. After all, he had already experienced the restart of the heavenly Tao. What could scare him now? Through the emails, he saw that Qiushilai was still fighting the Tao heavenly devil. He couldn't help but pity him. He guessed that Qiushilai was being beaten up and could not escape. How tragic. Hanju continued to check his emails. Your good friend Li Daokong was attacked by your good friend Shidu Dao. Your good friend Jiang Dugu was attacked by a mysterious heavenly devil, X412930. Your disciple Yang Tiandong was attacked by a mysterious heavenly devil, X93022. Your son Han Tuo was attacked by a mysterious heavenly devil, X453. Your good friend, the heavenly emperor, has devoured the inauspicious evil. His cultivation has increased greatly. Your good friend Qiushilai was attacked by a mysterious heavenly devil and his body was destroyed. Your good friend ancestor Shi Tian discussed the Tao with a mysterious mighty figure. His cultivation has increased. Your disciple Zhou Fan obtained your good friend's 7 Tao sage's dream and comprehended a mystical power. His cultivation has increased greatly. Your good friend Empress Huta was attacked by a mysterious heavenly devil and was severely injured. Intense! How exciting! Hanju almost fainted. What attracted him the most was that Empress Huta was severely injured. Although Empress Huta wasn't a sage, she was not something that ordinary pseudo-sages could compare to. The heavenly devils had already invaded the netherworld. He wondered how the other worlds were doing. Qiushilai wants to visit you in your dreams. Do you accept? Qiushilai wants to visit you in your dreams. Do you accept? This notification started to flood the screen, interrupting Hanju from reading his emails. He frowned and asked cautiously, if I accept his dream now, will my life be in danger? Continue. Not for the time being. Hanju heaved a sigh of relief and decided to accept the dream. In the blink of an eye, he entered the dream realm. He came to an absolutely dark space. Golden light shone ahead and roared. It was deafening. Hanju focused his gaze and saw that Qiushilai, who had transformed into a golden Buddha, was fighting. Countless heavenly devils surrounded him like ants devouring an elephant. It was a spectacular sight. The Buddhist light on Qiushilai's body flickered. His gaze was fixed on the burly heavenly devil. This demon was covered in black flames. It had 8 arms and 3 heads. Its face was ferocious and its long hair fluttered. It was like the legendary Rakshasa. Its entire body was black, and its muscles were like heavy armor. It was visually impactful. From afar, the battle between Qiushilai and the Tao Heavenly Devil was like the battle of the gods and devils in ancient legends. The surrounding heavenly devils were only demons and monsters who wanted to devour their bodies. Hanju, I'm not the Tao Heavenly Devil's match. The other sages can't help me because they abandoned the Heavenly Tao's providence. Come quickly. If I die, the Heavenly Tao will be in danger. Qiushilai's voice resounded in his ears, his tone anxious. Hanju said calmly, I understand. I'll come when I'm ready. What else do you need to prepare? Prepare to kill Tao Heavenly Devil. Impossible. Even I can't kill him. You can only join forces with me to force him back. That's you. I think I can do it. You. That's all. If you die, I will treat the Buddhist sect well and help when they are in danger. Treat it as me returning the favor. You took care of my disciples, and I will take care of yours. With that, Hanju directly broke through the dream, and his consciousness returned to reality. He continued to cultivate. Save Qiushilai? Not for the time being. What if this fellow still attacked him? Even if it was only a possibility, Hanju couldn't take the risk. He believed that Qiushilai would survive. What did he have to say? Bad people usually cause trouble for a millennium. In the endless desert, sand filled the sky. Sounds of battle and roars filled the air. Han Ming and Han Tuo were surrounded by thousands of heavenly devils and fought a bloody battle. Han Tuo was covered in injuries, and his swords were already filled with holes. At this rate, he would die in the hands of the heavenly devils sooner or later. Run first. I'll hold them back. Han Ming suddenly shouted. He spread his arms, and his dermic powers transformed into bolts of lightning that wrapped around all the heavenly devils like lightning chains that formed a spider web. Han Tuo said anxiously, I can't abandon you. Get lost. I'll only be able to escape if you escape. You're my burden now. Han Ming said impatiently. The thousands of heavenly devils struggled wildly. Their roars shook the world and were terrifying. Han Tuo gritted his teeth and left. Looking at his departing figure, Han Ming heaved a sigh of relief. After Han Tuo disappeared into the horizon, he finally relaxed. The heavenly devils broke free from the lightning chains and pounced at him again. Han Ming smiled sadly and muttered, I've returned the life I owed you. The next second, his eyes turned ferocious. I, Han Ming, have lived 2 lifetimes. How can I die here? Even if I die, I will die spectacularly. Boom! He mobilized his Tao fruit and activated his dermic powers. His aura was magnificent. Sword chi condensed out of thin air and transformed into thousands of sword shadows that swept in all directions. All the heavenly devils broke free from the lightning chains and attacked him, almost drowning him. Han Ming used his hand as a sword and fought with all his might. A 4-winged heavenly devil with a tiger head and a human body was chopped into 2 by Han Ming. However, soon, his body fused together again and his injuries recovered. Your F4 stories on O, V, LBN, CM. Such scenes appeared one after another. Han Ming frowned. So far, not one of the heavenly devils had truly died. Han Ming felt despair. He was really going to die this time. Roar! A terrifying roar exploded. It was even more terrifying than all the nearby heavenly devils. The heavenly devils turned around as if they were facing a great enemy. Han Ming also looked over. A terrifying black shadow appeared in the sky. It was like a heavenly devil and emitted a powerful aura. It was rushing over crazily. Looking carefully, a tiny figure could be seen under this 30 kilometers tall black shadow. It was Han Tuo. A 10,000-foot tall black shadow emerged from above Han Tuo's head. He lowered his head and rushed towards the heavenly devil. His black hair was messy as if he was possessed by a madman. This kid... Han Ming was shocked and couldn't believe his eyes. This power was so strong. He instinctively felt fear even from so far away. Could it be a power bestowed by him? Han Ming had a complicated expression. If it was him, everything would make sense. I still owe you my life. Sigh. Another 90 years passed. Many heavenly devils were wandering outside the 100-peak immortal river. All the heavenly devils had intelligence, but their communication method was different from the heavenly Tao life forms. The 100-peak immortal river couldn't be broken through, making them realize that treasures or mighty figures from the immortal world might be hidden here. The heavenly devil had descended into the immortal world. Their mission was to slaughter all living beings. As the heavenly devils began to camp in the 100-peak immortal river, the hidden sect disciples also became nervous. This calamity was clearly different from the past. Could the hidden sect still protect itself? The merging of the Tao sect by the sages must be related to the heavenly devils. I heard from the living beings passing by that the immortal world is already in chaos. It's said that the heavenly devils come from the chaos and can't be killed. Sect Master didn't say anything, either. Let's cultivate in peace. I'm just afraid that more and more heavenly devils will come. There will be enough to crush our array formation. What are you afraid of? Hurry up and cultivate. Don't always think of relying on the personal disciples and the sect master to protect you. We have to work hard. While the hidden sect disciples were discussing, Hanju was checking his emails in the Taoist temple. Your good friend Choshilai was attacked by a mysterious heavenly devil and was severely injured. Your good friend, the heavenly emperor, was attacked by a mysterious heavenly devil, X1244. Your son Han Tuo's bloodline has transformed due to an emotional outburst. Your good friend Empress Huta was attacked by a mysterious heavenly devil, X493. Your good friend Chou Shilai was attacked by a mysterious heavenly devil. His sage heart was damaged and his Buddha body was destroyed. Your good friend Shirdu Dao was attacked by a mysterious heavenly devil, X879210. Your good friend Li Daokong was attacked by a mysterious heavenly devil, X903277. Chou Shilai was really pitiful. Hanju sympathized, but he had to stay calm. Chou Shilai didn't save him. He only saved his good friend and even plotted against Hanju now. Hanju's greatest repayment was to save the Buddhist sect in the future. It was impossible to save Chou Shilai now. It had to be said that the heavenly devil's attack was very powerful this time. It looked like the immeasurable calamity. Looking down, his friends were all fighting with the heavenly devils. Hanju's blood boiled. Should he go out and fight to his heart's content? No! Stay cautious. He had to insta-kill the Tao heavenly devil first. Otherwise, if he cultivated for 40,000 years and his Tao became nothing, it would be too awkward. Hanju took a deep breath to calm down. He suddenly had a question. Was there a huge conspiracy behind this heavenly devil attack? The heavenly emperor was even attacked by a heavenly devil in the deity realm of the ruins of End. Could it be that this calamity didn't just affect the heavenly Tao immortal world? 10 billion years of lifespan will be deducted. Do you want to continue? Continue. No! Hanju raised his eyebrows and heaved a sigh of relief. That's good. It seemed that he was really thinking too much. Could it be that the heavenly emperor was not in danger in the deity realm of the ruins of End, but in the dark forbidden zone? Forget it! It was fine as long as there was no greater conspiracy. Hanju closed his eyes and continued to comprehend the great Tao of extreme origin. Time passed. Year after year, the number of heavenly devils around the 100-peak immortal river also increased. 100 years later, the number of heavenly devils near the 100-peak immortal river exceeded 1 million. Li Xianao came to visit him. Hanju let him enter the Taoist temple. Sect Master, the heavenly devils have already made the disciples in the sect panic. Should we arrange for them to go out and destroy the heavenly devils? Li Xianao bowed and asked respectfully. Hanju said calmly, the heavenly devils can't enter the Tao field. There's nothing to be afraid of. Li Xianao hesitated. Hanju asked, "What do you want to ask?" "Just say it." Li Xianao took a deep breath and said, "It's been a long time since you preached the Tao. It must be because of the heavenly devils. Many years ago, the sages joined forces to deal with the heavenly devils. However, as more and more heavenly devils appear, and the sages did not do anything, I'm afraid that the sages..." He did not continue. Hanju said, "What are you trying to say?" Li Xianao said, "Such an opportunity is the time for my hidden sect to prove itself. If the hidden sect can kill the heavenly devils, all living beings will owe us great karma. I feel that you might be the strongest sage in the world. Otherwise, those sages would have long come to find trouble. Why don't you take action and end this calamity?" Hanju didn't say anything and stared at him calmly. Li Xianao lowered his head nervously. Read latest OVLS at NVEL by. Calm. Hanju slowly stood up. "Prepare for the lecture." This sentence resounded throughout the hidden sect. The million disciples became excited and surged towards the place of the lecture. As usual, he would preach for 100 years. In 100 years, most of the disciples had made breakthroughs. In the past, Hanju would leave directly after the lecture, but not this time. He sat on the top of the mountain and looked down at the million disciples immersed in Tao comprehension. They were all entranced. He began to observe the entire immortal world. Corpses were everywhere and blood flowed like a sea. The heavenly devils spread throughout the 100 regions of the immortal world and even began to invade the various mortal worlds. The heavenly Tao life forms were in danger. Sages couldn't defeat Tao heavenly devil, and the living beings of the heavenly Tao couldn't defeat billions of the heavenly devils. Hanju was silent. After a long while, "Wait," Hanju suddenly said, waking all the disciples. The disciples looked up at the high and mighty sect master with reverence. After everyone sobered up, Hanju slowly said, "The heavenly devil calamity began in the 33rd heaven. The sages joined forces and passed down their providence to sage Choshilai. He and the leader of the heavenly devils fought outside the chaos for some time. What do you think of this calamity?" The disciples looked at each other. The unnamed disciples did not dare to speak, and the personal disciples did not answer immediately. At this moment, a disciple flew into the sky and knelt down in the air, bowing to Hanju. "Chu Shiren, Grandmaster, I think that the hidden sect can no longer hide. It's time to take action. Previously, it was the immeasurable calamity. We could avoid it. The heavenly Tao can be restarted, but the heavenly devils came from outside the chaos. The sages are all in danger. If the heavenly devil's slaughter succeeds, where can we live?" Chu Shiren cupped his fists and said firmly. With that said, many voices echoed in the 100-peak immortal river. "That's right. The heavenly devils are detestable. I saw them tear apart living beings with my own eyes. They're extremely cruel. These heavenly devils are very evil at a glance. We can't kill them at all. If the immortal world is destroyed and the heavenly Tao is gone, won't the hidden sect still have to face the heavenly devils?" "That's right. Isn't the goal of our cultivation to survive? If the immortal world falls, where will we live?" Senior Chu said, "Well, we should destroy the heavenly devils." "That's right, that's right." Hearing the indignant disciples' words, Hanju sighed. He had wanted to kill the Tao heavenly devil after breaking through, but he was still some time away. If he waited any longer, the immortal world would really be massacred. Hanju slowly stood up. Seeing him stand up, all the disciples shut up and didn't dare to say anything. He slowly raised his right hand and pointed his index finger at the sky. The sun and moon yin-yang protection revolved behind him. Divine light illuminated the 100-peak immortal river. At this moment, he was so majestic. "Everything in the world is my sword." Hanju's voice sounded. This time, it was not only the 100-peak immortal river, but all the worlds in the myriad worlds could hear it. The disciples of the hidden sect held their breaths as they stared at him. In an instant, the world shook. The sea of clouds in the sky transformed into white swords one after another. Stone swords with sharp auras condensed on the mountains on the ground. Countless living beings were frightened and the billions of heavenly devils were uneasy. Such a scene occurred in every corner of the immortal world and mortal worlds. A mountain transformed into a sword. The sea of blood transformed into swords. The trees transformed into swords. Flowers turned into swords. Dust turned into swords. Fallen leaves turned into swords. Apart from the land itself, all things that were not sentient became swords. Such a scene shocked all living beings. The hidden sect disciples in the 100-peak Immortal River also saw the situation outside the Tao field. All of them opened their mouths wide and were dumbfounded. They all heard Hanju's voice, which meant that this change in the world was caused by him. The sect master attacked to destroy the heavenly devils. Tao Sovereign, Li Yao, Zhao Xinyuan, Zhou Fan, and the others were all excited. What a domineering mystical power! The disheveled Han Tuo and the bloody Han Ming looked up at the huge swords around them with disbelief. They hid in the mountains, but the surrounding mountains and trees turned into swords. Han Tuo couldn't understand. He felt that the voice just now was familiar, but he couldn't tell why. Hanju used the sage voice. It was domineering and imposing. In addition, Han Tuo had not seen his father for a long time. He had experienced countless living beings in thousands of years. He had already forgotten his father's voice. Even if he did, it was different from Hanju's sage voice. On the other hand, Han Ming clearly remembered. He attacked, Han Ming had a complicated expression as his heart trembled. Under their gazes, all the swords around them soared into the sky and attacked in all directions. One heavenly devil after another was destroyed by the swords formed by all things in the world, scaring the other heavenly devils away. After their bodies shattered, they directly turned into dust. There was no chance of recovery at all. In an instant, on the ground of the myriad worlds in the universe, countless sword shadows sped forward. The blood of the heavenly devils splattered, turning into a bloody mist that filled the sky. On the bare ground, all living beings looked up at this miracle. Shock, surprise, and sorrow from having survived the calamity all surged into their hearts. More and more living beings knelt down and worshipped the sky. Some also began to wail. Finally, a Messiah had arrived to save the world.